scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the scrub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it.
Let's go! Bright and fucking early. Well, if you're in the West Coast, 9 a.m. I don't know what kind of Friday night you had, but I've been up all night, raging with my man Austin on FaceTime. We were at a crazy Halloween party. Shit got nuts. We'll talk about it, but what is good? Top of the morning, top of the afternoon, top of the evening, wherever the fuck you're at, you are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. I'm your boy, MJ. If for some reason this is your first time tapping in, I didn't fix this shit. My bad. I got to get this out of the way. If this is your first time tapping into the coolest reptile podcast in the world, do your boy a favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, dislike button, drop a comment. Let me know how you're liking the guest. Give me some of that feedback. I'm all about that feedback. But really, I like, the guests like to hear how you're liking the what they have to say and whatnot. So all that feedback does really matter. So appreciate if you do all that. But I hope you guys are having a great start of your day. It's the end of your day. I hope you had a great day. But yeah, it's about to get even better no matter where it's at, no matter where you're at, no matter what's happening. But before we tap into this morning's guest, you guys know what the deal is. For the freshest and bestest rodents delivered to your doorstep, that's coldbloodedcafe.com. www.coldbloodedcafe.com. $30 flat rate shipping delivered to your doorstep, professionally packed by the Cold Blooded Cafe team. They've been doing this for a hot minute, and they've been doing it right. So, yeah, man, go check them out. Always have the best deals going on at Cold Blooded Cafe. Shout out to Alex and John over at Sim Container. If you got some eggs, put them inside of a Sim box. You can thank me later. I'm telling you right now, a lot of less work goes inside of a Sim box, and you get better results. So, shout out to John. Shout out to Alex. They also have an amazing monitor game going on. If you're into monitors, you're going to definitely want to go check out Sim Container on Instagram and Facebook. Shout out to Steven and Ashley over at Focus Cube Habitats, Flexing, Texas. That's right. Some of Texas' best enclosures right now, and not just Texas, but United States, man. They're killing the game right now. Super busy, but you could definitely get orders in. I have a new custom build for my condos that's in the makings right now. But if you guys want to see what the hell Focus Cube Habitat's all about, I suggest you go to their website right there or check them out on Instagram. Heavy things going on over there. Shout out to Steven. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Jesse, the entire Freedom Breeder crew. Stainless steel racks, Freedom Breeder, baby. Made in the United States. Cannot beat that. And these never lose their value, as I always say. And it's true. Freedom Breeder racks never lose their value. They always hold up, and people always want them. And people always want this guy, too. It's amazing. Always evolving pythons, man. Always doing big, major moves that just makes people want to do even bigger moves themselves. I'm telling you, the motivation's real. It spreads. If you follow this guy, you know exactly what I mean. But if you have no idea who Miguel Garcia is and the Always Evolving Pythons team, go check them out. Go see what he's hatching out. Some world's first type activity going on and some just crazy type vibes. I'm telling you, you're going to want to go check out Miguel Garcia at Always Evolving Pythons, and shout out to him and the entire AEP family. And then you guys know what the hell the deal is with US ARC. If you do not know what the hell US ARC is, right now is the opportunity for you to go down to the link below, click on the US ARC link and go update yourself on how you can help protect your animal rights, because that's exactly what they do. Shout out to anyone who supports US ARC. You guys are real ones, and you guys know how important it is to support US ARC. You know, it's not just because it's cool, because it is cool to support US ARC, but honestly, we need to. Like, it's fucking Mando. For sure. And if you guys need a mandatory to get a hold of me for whatever reason, then fucking hit me up on Instagram. Best way to do it. And if you want to see what I have available, I've yet to put anything up on Morph Market. I know a week ago I said I was going to, but man, I'm selling shit still on Instagram. So I don't know if I'm waiting to get to a certain inventory point, which I'm going to talk to Austin about that actually today, but I don't know what I'm doing yet. But right now I still have some stuff available ball python wise. If you guys are interested, or if you want to hit me up and see what I have available for sale with ball python hatchlings, I actually have some holdbacks from last year I'm selling as well. But either way, if you want to see exactly what I have available, best way to do that is to reach me on Instagram, mjexoticscartal. I promise you by the end of the year, I will have whatever I have for sale on Morph Market. Because you got to understand, a lot of these things that I'm selling haven't even had meals yet. People are just so fucking just heavy to buy them. So I'm like, you know, what am I going to do? You know, fuck, okay, this hasn't had any meals. You understand that? I don't care. I want to buy it. All right. But obviously, if it didn't eat, I'm like, you know, this motherfucker, I make sure everything pounds. You know, if it's pounding, then it's taking off. And if it's not pounding, then it ain't leaving. It's simple as that. But yeah. And then also, guys, shout out to my Twitch viewers. You guys know who you are. Not many of you, but if you are on Twitch, go subscribe to my channel on Twitch. It would mean a lot. And then if you want to support this channel more than a subscription, you could actually do that by just sending a donation to PayPal, mjexoticscartal 619. And then also, if you want to be a part of the Trap Talk Patreon family, where we get together every Sundays, we talk about what's happening with the podcast, all that VIP type activity. I bring random people onto the Zoom sessions, all great stuff happening at the Trap Talk Patreon family. And I'm finally coming out with some Trap Talk with MJ gear, some new design, right? I'm coming out with some new design, and it's all going to the Patreon first before it gets released to the public. So that's another reason why you should get on top of that Trap Talk Patreon, because you just get first dibs on anything that I come out with, and that's a fact. So my Patreon family, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all your ongoing support. There's about 70 of us rocking in there. So if you out there want to be a part of something as cool as the Trap Talk community, then go down to the link below, hit that Patreon link, and join the family, and then hit me up, man. We'll talk about it. We have a Discord and all that good stuff. But thank you, my Patreon family. You guys are my hot. You guys know what the deal is. And yeah, man, let's move fucking forward. What is good with the early birds? We got early birds. I was kind of concerned, you know what I mean? Like, after, you know, rocking out all night with Austin, and then I'm like, damn, I wonder if other people were out raging all night too. But we're here. We got 30 people rocking right now. We have people up, man. What up with Ball Morphix? What is good? You set your reminder. It's not tonight. It's this morning. Then this fool probably didn't sleep either. What's up, homie? Brian Fogg in the building. Jacob, what is good, Jacob? I know you're ready for a good show. Chris Shelley in the building. What's up, Chris Shelley? Broken Chains Reptiles. What is good? The General Martin Morphs in the building. How you doing? I salute you, General. Thank you for being here. 1776 Exotics Patreon fam all day, every day. How you doing? Birch Reptiles, how you doing, buddy? HB Reptiles in the building. How you doing, HB? Good to see you. Matt Summers, what is good? Hey, Matt, what up with the logo? Is that new? Are you on some Canova shit right there? What's going on with your logo? Uh-oh, Matt's on that Canova shit. Thanks for being here, MSR. You're the man. What's up, Angel? Had a little early morning chat on the DMs with the homie Angel. He's super excited about his new trap pickup. That's in Shed. And yeah, dude, you want to follow this guy. This guy has some heat coming his way. So go check him out. What's up, Illadelph? I hope I said that right. Sick ass name. 808 Ball Pythons. What's up, homie? I know you want a GHI Hypo Mojave too. And that's in First Shed. The fuck was that? And that's in its First Shed tube. So you already know I'm talking to you on the low. I'll be in touch. What's up, Pez Pythons? How you doing? What's up, Peter? How you doing, Peter? Up in the buildings. There you go, Peter. What's up, Peter? And then we have Seraphim. Fuck. Seraphim Serpents. I hope that I said that right. What's up, Seraphim Serpents? Thanks for being here. Wiz Constrictor, fucking straight day one, homie. Won one of the only few giveaways I've ever done. He actually was able to cop one. I love telling that story. But what's up, Wiz? Thanks for being here. Runyon Reptiles, how you doing? What? We have the homie Lucas in the building. What's up, Lucas? Cobra Keeper Jr., one of the coolest cats in the game for sure. What's up, Dave? Thanks for tapping in. Jerome, what's up, Jerome? No Limit fucking Royals in the building. That's a big homie right here. Please go give a follow to my man, Jerome. He's Patreon family all day, every day as well. Eric's Morph Factory. always in the building. What's up, Eric? I appreciate you tuning in. It means a lot. I see you here all the time. Sonoran Herp Haven. I feel like I've seen your name before. Well, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. What is good? FNA Balls. What is good? Thanks for being here. Constricted Reptiles. All right, I could keep going, but I don't want to keep Austin hanging. But thank you for everyone. I'm gonna end it on Dale because Dale's a real one and Dale's an OG. So, oh wait, hold on. Okay, I'll end it on the homie Antoine because Antoine is player as fuck. And if I could end anything with a player type breeder, and it's going to be Antoine. It's my man Antoine. Give my man High Desert Pythons a big follow. I have something special in the works with my man Antoine. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's going to be released, and it's a collaboration, and it's huge, and it's going to put this motherfucker even more on the map than he already is after putting that fucking Foley guy in a goddamn choke and fucking, you know what I mean? Did you guys watch that US Arc shit? That was funny. Anyways, all right, guys. I can't wait to smoke another dab because if it's one person who likes to smoke, it's the person we're bringing on. And I don't need to be shy about anything when it comes to, hey, I want to smoke again. I want to smoke again because he'll smoke again with me. And he's tapping in. He's from Canada. And we have, the way you smiled made me laugh. We have Austin from Royal Highness Pythons. What is good, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Thanks for being here. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
All right, so I lied. I was not outraging on FaceTime with Austin last night. I was just trying to be as cool as him because he was out last night till a late one, till about 4 a.m., right?
Yeah. It was a
Halloween Ranger.
Yeah. Costume party. I was Pikachu.
Did you get pictures or no?
I sent you one, actually, so if you check your phone on Instagram.
Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, while I'm pulling that up, how you doing, man? I feel like it's been about a year since I've had you on the show, just about, I think. But
Yep.
How the fuck have you been? What's going on? How's your year been? Catch me up, man. What's up with you?
It's been crazy, man. A lot of changes. I'm having some big changes to basically my whole operation. I'm going to be letting people know in a couple of weeks, but I haven't been posting on YouTube in a long time. Haven't been posting on Instagram in a long time and focusing on some other stuff. But soon enough, I'll be right back in the loop and posting every day again. A lot of new stuff to come for sure.
All reptile related, or are you doing some new venture type shit?
Mostly reptile related. So just a huge revamping of stuff. Want to move on to Patreon a little bit for some IDing help for other people because I get literally bombarded every day with over like 100 messages from everyone asking me to ID snakes for them. It's a little overwhelming, but I have to get it done. I like to help people out and stuff.
Dude, and you just helped me, and I feel bad because I felt you're like Austin really helped me, and I was just like, well, hey Austin, why don't you help me with this too? Hey Austin, what do you think of this? Like, I'm pretty confident, but what do you think of this? But honestly, man, like you don't understand how much of like a relief for somebody like you who does like, you know, if you say it's something what something is, it's because you are somebody who's so geeked out over this shit to where it's like it's not cap, you know what I mean? And it's coming from your best like interest of what you're trying to help out. So that a lot of people sometimes I feel like I don't know, like you don't always you don't always hear the ID you want to hear, but sometimes you feel like it's when it's coming from someone, you feel like, what is this accurate? So you always have that what if, right? But I feel like you're a breeder that does not have that what if. It's like, fuck it. If this is what Austin says, I'm gonna run with it. I
have a good track record, but I'm definitely not 100%. I do get it wrong.
Like nope. And this is my point. I feel like nobody is like nobody's 100%. Like even Justin, God bless him. He's a man. You know what I mean? And I feel like you're the man. Like there's so many people in Billy. Like there's people in here who do, but they're not 100%.
It's impossible.
It's impossible because there's so many different versions of shit that nobody's even seen before. So there's no way of saying this doesn't have that when you don't even never even seen a version of this before. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially the new stuff, especially. You kind of have to use your imagination.
But I will say, okay, so what, you know, we could dip into this now, but there are simpler things that don't involve so much that are easy to tell, okay, this isn't this. Simply as like, you know, we were talking about the super banana, right? How super bananas have that clean purple, like there's no orange in the purple. It's just completely like a pastel. It looks like a lavender almost, I would say.
Yeah,
or
it's very washed out.
Very washed out.
Yeah.
And you know, and you know, what's funny is like you tell that to somebody, and if they know the pairing, like I thought I knew the pairing, right? Until I actually showed you the pictures of the parents, and you were able to spot Blade right away in the mail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but then Blade's also not a gene that not a newbie's going to really spot right away, or, you know, like Blade's that gene that a lot of people steer away from. They don't want to work with it because how hard it is to ID. But you know, you put Blade in a clown and it's like not hard at all. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
it Blade does make sense in a lot of ways, just like any morph does. It just depends on what you put it in, right?
Oh, 100%, man. Like even like the Blade, especially, a lot of people don't even know they have Blade inside their stuff, because when you're making the het clowns, like you were saying,
Right.
it's a little harder to see because it's just a little bit of banding, a little bit of cleanliness in the pattern. But
Right.
once you're able to ID it, you'll start noticing it more, and then noticing when you have it in the clown and without the clown.
So I feel like, you know, you meet somebody who's like real smart because how much they read. Like you could just tell like this motherfucker reads a lot of books. I feel like you're on that level with the morph IDing, right? But like, what did you do for, like, I want to know, like, what was it, just overloads of just constant research that you did day after day, or like, what are some things that you did practices wise to kind of get you on the right rhythm of knowing how to ID shit consistently?
So I'm pretty obsessive when I learn about things. So I really like to jump into it. And with the morphs, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, or I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos of like everybody doing egg cuttings, clutch updates. And I used to go and pause the video before they said what it was and try to guess exactly what each snake was, and really take note of like what genes changed certain morphs, what
Right.
morphs did when they combined with certain genes. And practice. It took me like 3 years every day doing that.
And if you could remind me, Austin, you've been, as far as breeding ball pythons, for how long now? Like
Well,
how long?
6 years, but like really seriously for like 3 years, 4 to 3 years.
Okay. And then you teamed up with Billy, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
I actually started working with Billy 5 years ago.
Oh shit. Okay, damn.
Yeah.
So it goes deeper than that. Damn. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. How's that going, by the way? What's up? How's the team mutation creation doing? How's everyone doing?
Also, it's amazing. Like it's a lot of big changes happening recently. Billy just got into Pokemon. I got him into that. So a lot
Oh,
more fun
shit.
at work, but there's still a lot of work to be done. And we have a good team: Catherine, me, Lord, Billy. We even have Alex now helping us from Chromaflux Reptiles, and it's just a big team. We do get everything done. We all work well together. There's some bickering and stuff, but it's all love in the
That's
end, right?
family. That's his family shit.
100%.
If you're not bickering, then you're not really trying to fucking really, like, you know, help each other grow, or like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because at the end of the day, we all want better for each other. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just all part of the growing process. I can only imagine though. I kind of wish I was like just kind of like sneak peeking while like there's some heated moments either between like whoever the fuck, I don't know. Is there is there anybody who like are like consistently kind of going at it? Like, and it's all love, but like, are there any kind of like
It's
just
probably
like
me and Billy the most. Yeah. But it's all love in the end. Like we're just doing it like, right? It's just two
dude, I
egos
love it.
going at each other, you know? But it's all fun in the end. Like Billy's like, I don't know. I see him as like almost like an uncle to me. Like he's part of my family for 100%. Like
Oh, for sure. I bet.
yeah,
So
like
this is good. This is going to be a great example then. How many times have you and Billy looked and ID'd something and you thought one thing and he thought the other?
it happens all the time. Like
All the time, I'm assuming, right? And then
yeah.
how serious has it gotten to where it's like, all right, I'm gonna fucking grow this thing out. I'm gonna prove you wrong. And then how many times has that happened where guys were able to prove one or the other wrong? I mean, does that happen quite a bit?
It happens a little bit, like more with like the possible hets. It's happened. Like I had two snakes that I thought were like I could have bet my life that they were gonna prove het pied,
Yeah.
but made a couple too many pairings to a pied, and Billy's like, I told you, you know. So it happens, and it happens both ways, but we don't really try to keep a track record or anything.
You know what's crazy is like, I mean, I'm not saying this happened to me, but I could definitely see it happening. But I do see snakes like crazy, like I don't know if it's certain things in the pairing that give the calico a little ringer, but I feel like those ringers pop up that have nothing to do with pied at all
100%.
whatsoever. And I feel like motherfuckers just label that shit het pied. Like I'm dead ass dead. And who's not gonna believe that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but you know, I mean, that's why you just gotta be smart who you buy from. You know what I mean?
You have to know what genes throw ringers without het pied. So you have the champagnes, you have the cinnamon or black pastel does, especially the super cinnamons, super black pastels. You see a lot of ringers, and people assume that, oh, maybe one of them was het pied, but it just happens randomly.
I had I had this really cool. It was a super gravel to a yellow belly. It was a super gravel to a super fire cinnamon yellow belly, and I got this really cool fucking cinnamon fire. I mean, I guess possible yellow belly, but I could tell the way this fucking thing looks. It's pretty much gravel, but it left this crazy ringer, and I was like, "What the fuck is this ringer from?" And I was like, "There's no calico or like no, you know what I mean? But there is cinnamon, you know what I mean? So you're saying the cinnamon is something that could leave a calico marking.
It can give you the ringers sometimes mixed with like the right genes. Like fire, I've noticed it happen a couple of times with fire, and there's even some dragging of the pattern, which make it look like a hep hide too, but it's not the hep hide.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So last time I talked to you, man, I was really like, I took a lot of cool shit that you dropped on our last podcast. One of them being on how great of a success you had with your breeding. I think you went 40 for like 40. What was it again? Like we're talking about last year's, not this year's, but how many clutches?
Last year was about 36 clutches or 42 clutches. It was in that range. I don't remember right now.
It was like 40 out of 42. Like you missed.
I only got like 4 or 5 females not to go for me last year. It was very successful.
Really successful, right? So how's that compared to this year? If we could just talk about what your success has been like this year. There's been a lot of talk. Like I've always talked about how late my shit went unexpectedly. So I just want to know how it went for you.
So this year I had about like 65 females going. And right now I'm about 42 clutches in. I still have a bunch of females dropping clutches, so I am running late. But this year I did have a couple of like key females that were going to go for me reabsorb just before ovulation too. It was like really depressing. Wow. I had a special double het monsoon pied, and she reabsorbed around 28 millimeters. So that was just not fun. And then I had a clown go and reabsorb as well. So, and she was bred. It was a vanilla clown bred to an orange dream fire butter ultramel. So
the reabsorbing thing, right? Like, I mean, does that normally have effect on them the year after that, or do they normally typically lay like the next year from what you've experienced?
So we're keeping more track of the follicle development now, mutation creation, and even my own collection when I bring the ultrasound over.
Right.
And we're seeing that girls are pulling back their follicles, reabsorbing. But then we notice that they're actually building again not too long later, sometimes within a month, sometimes 3 to 4 months later. So It does look like they're still going to lay. It's just that one cycle didn't make it.
So, I mean, just because they reabsorb doesn't mean you should stop pairing. Like, I mean, you necessarily don't need to wait till next year to pair or whatever is what you're saying.
If you have an ultrasound and you actually know the follicle size, I do around 12 millimeters, 11 millimeters. I'll start pairing. So I've had females go up to 28. Like my special double het, she went to 28 millimeters. She went back down to 9, and then now she's around 13 again. And she dropped down about 2 or 3 months ago. So now she's back in the breeding cycle. But for every snake, it's different. And if you don't have an ultrasound, you can't tell exactly when to go.
I could be completely wrong on this, or I could be completely right. But I can 100% see people buying an ultrasound and completely just using it for no fucking reason, like just using it, right? So with your experience, like let's just say you have a female that showed follicle development and then it disappeared, right? Mm-hmm. At what point do you feel like, okay, I should check this female again?
Well, mutation creation, we check the females every 2 weeks. And for myself, I check about every 3 weeks to a month. And I think that's about a really good place to check because people think there's a breeding season when some females are going to be building outside of the actual breeding season, right? So if you're checking every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, you know exactly when your female's ready to go and when to start pairing them.
Cool. That's solid. I always, because I mean, I'd say it's fucking house. I'm trying to buy a house and it's sucking everything I have like out of me. Like I can't just be MJ right now and it sucks, but I really need an ultrasound. Like, and the ultrasound I want to get is really awesome. It connects to your phone. It's a Butterfly ink one. It's expensive, but to me, it's worth it because I've actually used it. But I just, I would be that guy if I had an ultrasound. I would be ultrasounding every day just so I could kind of get comfortable with it. But then at the end of the day, you got to know what you're ultrasounding. Like you got to know, do you know for a fact a female does have follicles in her? So you know what follicles look like on the phone or on the computer. You know what I mean? Because that is the important part, is knowing what it looks like on the screen. You know what I mean? But I can tell you right now, man, I've seen follicle developments on chondros and ball pythons, and like ball pythons are way easier to spot, you know, as far as like compared to a fucking little goddamn like ping pong ball, like or like whatever, or like a little BB or whatever.
Oh,
It's not easy. Yeah, it's difficult. But what another question? So, at what point did you implement ultrasounding to your collection? Was that something you started right off the bat, or did you do it after a couple years? When did you add an ultrasound to your collection?
So like shortly after our last podcast.
Oh, so recent.
Recently.
Nice.
And,
respect.
So this year is pretty much the first full season I'm going to go with using an ultrasound, and it's different. I like it, but I kind of want to go back to still pairing my old ways because I've had such great success with it. Like this year I did have the reabsorptions.
Right.
And I don't know, I might be chalking it up to maybe not enough pairings, maybe running the males too thin, but I'm not saying I'm blaming the ultrasound, but I do want to go back to breeding the way I used to breed, maybe because the ultrasound may be too comfortable. That's what I'm thinking.
And there's the steps that you feel like you were important that you normally wouldn't miss, that you probably missed due to ultrasound or whatever. But you're definitely adding another step into a mix that wasn't broken. You know, like you had a process that was perfect, and then you just try to get a little spiffy with it, which that's what I'm trying to do. But really, like, honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, this year sucked because I had to wait till fucking July to get my first clutch, which was weird. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna, and I'm trying to buy a house, you know, so I was relying on some of these clutches to come through on the low, you know. So but regardless, like that's when I was scratching my head. I was like, I should buy an ultrasound, but then I was like, at this point, if it's not going to go, it's not going to go, whatever the fuck. But I just kept pairing things. I didn't stop, and eventually things happen. And I feel like with ball pythons, like things are going to happen. Like I feel like it's, unless you're trying to spread a male so thin, then I could understand why you'd want to ultrasound, because, you know, Billy is notorious for that fucking 2-lock. It's done. You know what I mean? And I've gotten 2-lock and dones off of luck. I didn't do that shit on purpose. And I feel like Billy could do that shit on purpose. And that's due to an ultrasound, you know, but at the end of the day, I'm looking past the ball pythons. I'm trying to breed chondros. I'm trying to breed fucking green tree pythons, which I'm not good at whatsoever. And that's the whole follicle development. When to put a male in is very crucial with the chondros. Like you could be too late. Like there's just like a lot of things that come into play that I learned a lot from my buddy Socrates and other people. That's why I feel like an ultrasound could really, really help you in other things. But I mean, necessarily, like I said, like I was just talking about, Austin, other than the male thing, I don't think an ultrasound is like a super like die hard fucking investment you should do, unless it's something you just want to do. But I don't feel like it's like a necessary thing. You know what I mean?
It could take you potentially to the next level if you use it
could properly. For sure.
But the thing I feel the biggest issue with my ultrasounding this year was that I've seen how many females needed that last lock, and I like to leave my male in for about a week. So 7 days straight with the female.
Right.
Instead of that, I put them in. I seen them locked that night. The next day I came back, they're still locked. The next day after, if they were unlocked, I was taking them out and moving them to the next one. So that's where, like, I think the ultrasound just changed. I changed up with the ultrasound. So lock pairings weren't as long. I was looking more just for the locks. Now I want to go back to doing the long pairings, seeing if that gives me better results, because I did hear that putting a female and a male together for a longer period of time does help with follicle growth. So
I mean, I could tell you from I haven't been doing this for too long, but I mean, every time I see that motherfucker lock that girl pretty good, as soon as he unlocks, I remove him. He's out. But I could definitely, you know, I do know keeping it longer definitely isn't going to hurt. You know what I mean? Because I've definitely seen, I've left a male with a female long enough where he locked her twice, and I was like, whoa, fucking horny bastard. You know what I mean? But you know, dude, like only you know your shit. Like nobody knows how your shit works but Austin. And that's how I am with my shit. Like nobody knows how the trap works but me. And I'm slowly but surely getting like, you know, last year I had so many concerns because I had 4 girls that laid for me the year before that I was really hoping were going to lay, and nothing happened. Like they were getting locked, smashing food. They just never went off. Nothing happened. And I was like, what the fuck, you know? And that really discouraged me. But what happened was I was so like keen on the season, like, oh, it's like they laid at this point this year, and this year they're having ovulated. I'm just gonna stop pairing. So what happened was those girls who didn't lay, I just stopped pairing them way too soon, and they never got that last lock they needed or whatever the fuck they needed. They didn't get. So this year, I was in April. Shout out to my man Antoine again. Antoine, High Desert Pythons. Antoine came down with his ultrasound, and I was just so curious. I was like, what the fuck is happening? You know what I mean? And he showed me, like, so those girls who didn't lay last year were just now, and it was April, were just now barely starting to build follicles, like at that point. So I was like, holy shit. Like at this point last year, I stopped pairing. So I was like, this was the problem, you know? So dude, sure enough, I just kept pairing, like literally like a motherfucker, and everything. Like I went 16 clutches. I went 15 for 16.
Oh, so, bro, that's amazing, man. I'm so happy for you, bro.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Yeah, I'm stoked as fuck. And that's just because, like, I just, like, you know, I'm in California and I run everything off ambient. Everything's off whatever the weather is outside. So I don't really have seasons, bro. Like shit goes when it goes. Like it's just different for me out here. So I can't look at last year's documents and be like, oh yeah, I got an ovulation this year. That ain't gonna mean shit next year. It's happens when it happens, you know.
Yeah. I actually have a female it's Lord of Lions female. She's actually double clutching this year. So she laid She laid early in the season or earlier in the year around like I think it was May or April, and once again now she's at 27 millimeters.
Is she gonna lay this year?
Again, yeah, she'll lay twice. So
I heard about that. I heard about that they can lay every 9 months.
It's happening, man. It's
dude.
I didn't think it was possible.
That is wild. This fool got another clutch. Okay, let's talk about this, because when you got that female to lay in April, right? What's your regimen? Do you normally get them back on food slowly? Like, are you like small meals, like, you know, or like how you get them back on food after they lay?
Depending on like how big the female is. If she's a smaller female and what prey she was eating, because I feed ASFs and the rats.
Right.
So if she was eating ASFs, I'm only going to give her one ASF, like maybe a medium to a small ASF.
Okay.
And then after, like gradually, I'll go back up to the larges, and I'll just every week just pound her. But with like the bigger snakes that eat rats, I like to go and do a small rat instead of a medium rat if they were on a medium rat, and I'll go weaned rat first. So I just want a smaller prey item just to get them back into the idea of eating. Right. And after a while, once they're eating again, I'm going back up to that bigger prey item and just pound them again. And then I noticed that 4 to 6 months after when they lay is actually a good time to start pairing again, depending on what the ultrasound says, or if you don't have an ultrasound, what signs you're seeing with the snake.
Wow. 4 to 6 months. I've had people tell me 9 to 10 months on here, bro. That's fucking wild. Like literally people who've been doing this for a while telling me they don't start pairing till like 9 months after. That's crazy.
That's when I'm noticing follicle development again. They're back up to 11 millimeters. Not every snake does it. Sometimes you have ones going up to 7 to 8 months, but you do have a lot of them going 4 to 6.
So this player, bro, this guy, dude. Oh, okay. I don't want to spill the beans, but
you showed up, this guy.
Dude, I can't wait to, I can't wait to meet you fools, bro. You guys, I'm gonna be meeting you guys at some point. Let's just say that.
We'll have to smoke for sure.
Oh, for sure. Hope my boy Lord's doing good. But yeah, the double clutch, man. Like, I mean, you understand there's mangrove, there's Boega species that lay double clutches. So obviously if one snake species can do it, then why can't ball pythons? But Barcheck literally had told me a snake ball python could lay a clutch every 9 months. But let me ask you this, like, do you feel like that's going to cause the life of the snake? Like, do you feel like the snake, you know, because like with dogs, right? Like, you got to be careful when you breed dogs, because females could just tap out at a young age. And like, I'm talking about like 7, years old from breeding them too much. So what's your concern about that with breeding ball python every 9 months, if you could do that?
I probably wouldn't do every 9 months. I know with some species, especially the pieds, I noticed sometimes they take a year in between clutches.
Right.
And I don't know if it's just the pieds, because it seems to happen with all my pieds. I've heard other people tell me the same thing with the pieds, but I would definitely not double clutch every year. Even if you could, I would go maybe double, single, maybe give a year off after, then you can go back to single and double. But doubling every year, I don't think it's a good thing for the females, because just depleting all of her hormones, doing all that stuff, all the cycles she has to go through, then getting back on the food and stuff. Every time they eat, their organs enlarge, and then organs enlarging after. food for like when they didn't have food for that period of pregnancy. I just wouldn't think it's a good thing to do every year.
So what's going to be your game plan for this female? Are you going to give her a year off if she does lay in December or whatever? Is she going to take a year off after that?
Well, it's Lord of the Lions female, so it's truly up to him. But I'd probably advise him just to go see how she goes. Wait to go till she's at least up back to her weight before even starting a pair, because she just laid 2 clutches. So she did a good job. I wanted to give her the break she needs.
Well, what's the snake? If you don't mind, tell me what kind of snake is it?
Just a huge pied female.
Just a huge big pied, huh?
Yeah, a huge big pied, and we're breeding it. Well, we bred it first to an orange dream, high intensity orange dream NG het pied, and we got a 7 or 8 egg clutch. I'm not too sure. It was really early in the year, and then now we're breeding it to the special double het monsoon pied. So
Austin, I have to say, man, obviously this goes back to knowing your shit with morphs. I feel like you're very keen on making hets, important hets for your projects. But I want to know how you go about that, because obviously, I mean, how important is it for you to make money off your snakes, or do you have another source of income? In other words, are there certain snakes that you do wish to sell when you do like have a clutch, or are you just looking to get every holdback you could possibly get?
Right now I'm still working towards building the army a little better.
Okay.
So like I haven't been selling as many as I should. I'm holding back like pretty much almost every clown female I make, every het monsoon female I make.
Nice.
And probably pretty much all the pied females too, the combo pieds. So I'd really just rather build stuff up. I'll sell what I don't need. And if I have 2 of them, I might sell one if it's something that I'm not too keen on. But other than that, I'm gonna pretty much hold everything back.
So what do you do when it comes to planning a project to where you could take something and go a visual route, but then if you go visual, if you want, okay, so you have 2 options, right? You have 2 snakes that you could simply make visuals from, but then you have another project that you could do the het, like you could go the het route and do the longevity thing. But how do you choose like what route to take? Like in your eyes, like how do you really judge it's worth going the visual or it's worth going the het?
So basically, if I have a visual female, I don't really want to go and put her to a visual male, because I know if I put a pied female to a pied male, let's say I had like an orange dream NG yellow belly or orange, like a nice pied male, I wouldn't just go the pied female to it, because I'm just gonna be recreating genes from the male and just making all pieds, which would be cool, be nice for holdbacks. I might have done it when I was starting off as a breeder, but now I'm more at a place where I want to work towards the future and be in my own niche. So I don't want to be in a group of too many people, so I can set myself aside.
Right.
Basically, so the double hets are a great way to do that, even incorporating newer genes into like recessives. And then, so when I have a het female, if I had a het pied female, I would breed that pied male to that het female, and she has some other genes in here. I'm not going to breed a straight het pied, maybe like an Enchi orange dream het pied female. I'd go breed to a crazy male. But I'd rather go take that pied female, go and put another recessive into it. So if it was a pied, I'd probably put an ultramel combo to it, or maybe go and buy an ultramel pied to go hit everything ultramel 100% het for pied.
Right. If you could remind me, I'm just brain farting right now, but if you have 100% het, like a proven 100% het female, and you put it to something that isn't that recessive, then you get 50%, or do you still get 100% het?
50%. That's
50%. Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, there's certain like genes you can do that with and have like a higher success of picking out the hets, like the het pieds. You can do that with. Sometimes
what makes a 66% het?
So that's a het to a het.
Oh, okay. So 2 het. Okay, because if you go head to head, that doesn't mean you're going to get all visuals. You're going to get some. You have the chances of getting.
You get one of them will be a visual. One of them will be non-het, and then actually,
I've seen like crazy odds on a het to het before, like for sure.
Even Billy, I've seen him get 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
6 out of 7. Like he kills it like that. But yeah, the 66% hets, 2 out of 3 times they're going to prove out, and then one of those other snakes is not going to be proving out, and then you'll have a visual. So the odds are 1 in 4 for the visual, 2 out of 3 that they'll prove out het.
Right. Okay. Cool. This shit could get tricky sometimes, especially when you're, you know what I mean? If you're not refreshing that memory of this shit, you could just you could get left in the dust. That's why I bring Austin on, refresh that memory. You know what I mean? All right. So this being said, obviously you're not selling too much because you're in the holdback mode, but how have snake sales been for you? Like, do you ever have an issue getting rid of a snake? I mean, dude, there's talks of some breeders wanting to get out of the game. I'm not going to say any names, but like, and these are breeders that I've looked up to since coming in, and I'm like, what? And one of their excuses is not that it's an excuse, but one of the reasons being is that snake sales aren't the same, or sales is an issue. So I'm just curious, are selling a snake hard for you, or what's that been like for you this year?
Some of them just fly like right away. People take them. Some of them I have inquiries on. People lowball me like crazy, and I just kind of ignore those people. But they're pretty good, especially like in Canada. They picked up a lot here. The ones in the States, I've had a few good sales to the States, but I just haven't been listing enough to go and put enough out there for like the US market and even like markets abroad, because shipping's kind of expensive from here for us. And if it's not like over a couple, like $1,000 snake or over, it's not really worth even posting it for you guys. And most of those snakes that I make are over a couple thousand. I'm holding back for myself for the future.
Right.
Yeah. Other than that, it's amazing. Like
Yeah,
everything usually sells.
Every what?
Everything usually sells.
Yeah, I mean, and then like if you have something that isn't really selling for what you feel like it's worth, what's your game plan with that? Like, do you just chill? Like, you'd rather just raise it up, or I mean, or do you normally kind of like drop it in price? What do you normally like to do about that?
I have a whole bunch of stuff that even from last year, I probably have like 25 snakes I should have sold last year. Probably should have wholesaled them because now I'm into them for too much with the upkeep, cleaning them my own time, feeding. It's cost a lot. So now like I need to make a certain amount of dollars just to almost balance out with them, right? Or make a little profit. So those snakes, I am just going to go up to where the point is of where my profit is and just let them go. Almost like wholesaling, but wholesaling here is a little different than in the States. We get like a dime and nickel on the dollar. So it's almost not worth it.
Dude, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The way people wholesale down here is super grimy and cheap too. Like you'd be surprised. And I got a good taste of that in the beginning, just kind of working with other people. And I was like, that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of half these fucking ball pythons and just work with shit that I know is gonna sell for how much I want to sell it for. And that's it. I don't want to ever have to wholesale shit. Like, I don't want to have to, like, because to me, bro, even a fucking normal, or as they call them, a classic, right? But it's a beautiful snake to me. Like,
it is.
I hatched it. I feel like it's beautiful. It's not worth $5 or $10 to a pet shop, or, like whatever, basically giving it away. You know what I mean? And but it's unfortunate because like a male normal het fucking whatever the fuck is just not really worth much to the average pet keeper or whatever. It's just another snake, you know what I mean? So but it is what it is. Some people can't help but to make hets, but I just do my best to limit that. But as you dip into the heavier shit, like like I was saying, you can't really avoid, like, you're gonna make normal hets, like
100%. And
100%.
sometimes you need those to go and use those normals to go tell what other genes are inside of the ones you produced before. Right. And those normals will go and spread the genes out a little bit easier without mixing anything more into the confusion.
Now, I mean, I've asked plenty of breeders this, man, but like when it comes to you producing something so wild as you do, because I know you're producing shit that a lot of people aren't working with. So that means a lot of shit that you price is off your own judgment of price. You can't really go to Morph Market and say, oh, well, this is what Homeboy's charging, because nobody's doing with what you're doing. So how do you really price your shit? What's your game plan with pricing things?
So for certain things, like I'll go and look at how much it'll cost them to get into making what I made, and then how badly they want to hold it back, if it's worth holding back, or if this could really go and change someone's project up. And like some of the pricing, it's a little hard, especially like some of the double het pied monsoon stuff. So right now I'm actually just holding a lot of it back, and I'm holding back a ton of males, and I'm waiting until I can actually prove them out as breeders, and then go and let them go for a premium, of course, and then have a little army there, and then kind of set the market price for them. Because you can go and base it off of what a non-double het is, or just a single het. But then, of course, there is someone, you had to breed it to a pie to make it double het. So doing stuff like that, it takes production value, right?
if it's one thing I'm noticing is like, yeah, there's people willing to invest and kind of get ahead of this ball python games, but bro, whatever they produce, they don't even know what the fuck to do with it half the time. Like they don't know, they can't sell it. They don't, they're not really mind framed to want to hold it back and like keep it. You know what I mean? It's like, because you got to understand a lot of these, anyone who comes in with the investment heavy type mentality does want to see some sort of turnaround within the next like 3 years. So whatever they hatch out, they're more likely going to sell. They're not going to be like Austin or fucking RCR and be like, I'm holding this shit back. For the most part, there are some people like that, which that's the way to be. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Longevity is the fucking your way in this game for sure, because there's no way out. Like there's no end game in this, like ever.
Yeah.
Like Will's talked about how he'll never outlive to see the how many morphs what could potentially be in this game. Nobody will. It's just a forever like unravel big thing of fucking whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So what was I going with that? What were we talking about before that? Fuck.
Well, we're both having a stoner moment now, right?
Anyways, this is a good time. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, but pricing. Anyways,
Pricing, yes.
So, did you ever struggle at all with pricing, like throughout your last few years? I mean, or have you always had a good grasp on how you should be pricing stuff?
I usually just go to Morph Market, and you can really like get a value of your snake by looking at similar ones for sale, seeing the quality of the snake too, as well, like how much weight it is. If yours is a little bit more weight, you can add a little bit more dollars to it, but not significant amounts unless it's like a breeder size female or a breeding size male. But like Morph Market's a good basis. Like even in Canada, before I used Morph Market, or before I even knew about Morph Market, I was using Kijiji, which is kind of like Craigslist. Right. And I would just go off like similar morphs, or like, let's say it was a pastel pied and I had a fire pied. If pastel pie was going for 700, fire is a little more desirable than the pastel pied, I'd ask 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah, so just use references, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's references for sure is you're definitely a really good tool. Just because like, you gotta understand, and I'm sure you're no stranger of hearing this news, but there's people out there, well-seasoned breeders, who never really got themselves in the 2K, 3K and up market. They kind of stayed in the 1,000 and under range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because of that, they try to influence other people not to go in the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 range. But it's all like to each their own. But really, like, why wouldn't you want to maximize? Like, why wouldn't you want to live for your full maximal potential? But the influence behind what a breeder's like that saying is that you're never going to sell anything that's worth, anything. No one's basically going to give you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for a snake. Which I feel is cap. I mean, because
100% cap.
I'm getting money for some of that shit, and I'm nobody in your bracket or Miguel's bracket or Kabelka's bracket, and just the fucking crazy shit that Codoms with hypo that I'm producing is going for a couple grand. So I know he's cap. Like he's
100%. Like this is somebody who's like maybe just hasn't wanted to take the risk, because you're working with live animals. There are risks. Sometimes they're not going to produce for you. Sometimes things go wrong, and that really deters people from going to that higher price range, because that is a large sum of money to them, right? So it's just very discouraging for some. And then when they do it, they're either open to a beautiful thing that can happen, and just a lot of closed-minded people. And then the people who follow them, like, I kind of feel bad for, because there's a whole other world on the other side you have to see.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
What I recommend anyone doing, right? Because you understand, a lot of people come into this game like not knowing, like they see someone on YouTube and they go, oh wow, this guy's legit. But like, for instance, an example that we're talking about of somebody who's trying to steer people away from the high end shit has been doing YouTube videos for so long now and has never changed anything. He has the same rack systems. He has the same fucking same camera, the same fucking Android phone that he probably uses to record his videos. Nothing has developed. Nothing has evolved. And why would you ever want to associate with something that is not evolving? Like literally, why would you want to put a roof over your head when you're just starting in something? And what I say by that, when you're hearing information that influences you not to get into the high end shit, It's because you're scared. You're putting a complete shack. You're in a little tiny shack. And you have somebody like Austin who's on a fucking penthouse. Like, I don't know what floor Austin's on, but he's not getting off anytime soon. You know, you have the Levances who aren't getting off anytime soon. Billy's. The list goes on and on. So I'm just saying, don't ever let anyone else who's never put themselves out there fucking deteriorate what you could potentially do in this hobby. Because the opportunities are endless. I'm telling you right now. It's amazing. The more you put yourself in this shit, the more you're going to get back. And you know I'm right.
100%. That's just how it is. It's the same with everything. The more you put into it, more energy, the more time, the more money, the more you will get out of it, whether it be like success in it, holdbacks, money back to you. If you can't hurt, it doesn't hurt to try, you know. Try it once, take the gamble. It's better than the lottery. The lottery is a scam. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
So
that's just gambling is not good. Because you got to understand, like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, like I do love that ball pythons bring money, but I love that I'm doing a little kid shit. Like, I'm literally producing a snake. Like, I am literally a kid every day in my room full of snakes and just smiling. And like, my dude, I have some shit that goes down that makes me scream sometimes in a good way, bad way too. And my wife has to come in like, what happened? And I'm like, dude, I fucking hit. You know what I mean? Or just something like some shit that doesn't happen unless it's Christmas or something. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I got something that makes me feel so good inside. And dude, when you get old, bro, you tend to chase things that make you feel good. If it makes you feel good, you hold on to it and you cuddle it. And that's why I married the wife I have. You kidding me? I was tired of fucking dating whores who were cheating on me and fucking only wanted me because I could give them drugs and shit. The list goes on. You know what I mean? I was tired of that. You know what I mean? So, bro, opportunities are endless. Just don't put a fucking shack over your head of your dreams because fucking somebody has never upgraded their phone or even had the decency to get a better light box. Like, god damn, like, come on. There's so many things you could just do. Just like, but that, bro, that's one example. Okay. That's one example of many breeders who never elevated their shit and they refuse to because they're either lazy, they're scared, they just don't want you. Man, I'm too good for it. Whatever, dude. You're going to get lapped. And motherfuckers are getting lapped every day now, bro. It's crazy. And I commend people who came in this game the last few years, like yourself and me and other people who are just fucking just so hungry for this shit and not even making shit available yet. Shit's on that. Like we're holding on to shit. You know what I mean? Like come on, bro. Longevity, baby. You feel me?
100%. It's a long game, the ball python game. Like the only way to really like do something with it is to hold out, maybe not take a paycheck from it for a while, a couple of years, but when the pay starts coming in after that little wait, it's way more worth it. A little bit of money now versus a lot of money in the end. Wait it out, follow your dreams, make what you want to make, and beautiful things can happen. You can hit the lottery with it, and the odds are way better than buying lottery tickets once again. So,
dude, and this is so true, bro. Scared money don't make money, bro. Like
100%.
I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I'm a reckless individual, okay? But my wife, super security by the book. But what I have to say is like she is somebody who always believed like I need a savings. I need to have the biggest savings and I just need to sit on it and just know that I have a shit ton of money. But you don't make more money like that. Like you don't. You got to fucking make the moves with that shit. You know what I mean? Oh shit. Sorry. Who's calling? Anyways, you gotta make the moves with that shit or else you're always going to be stressing about saving. You know what I mean? And like, bro, no matter, bro, a savings ain't shit. A savings 100%. Could be gone like that because either something that happens, something you need, but savings is something that you should be prepared to rebuild any time of the day. Like you should always be prepared to keep building. You know what I mean? But if you're scared, that ain't never gonna happen. Like you got to make the fucking moves, bro. And ain't nobody gonna make moves for you. You got to make them yourself.
See, there's a quote I heard in business. It says poor people spend all their money. Middle class, they go and save all their money, and the rich invest all their money. So take a note in that into ball pythons, and it can reflect on like what you have and what you make in the future. So,
and here's one that I believe too. That whole money does not bring happiness. Well, whoever made that up never had money to begin with. They never even touched money, unfortunately, and they never even lived a life to where they could see what money could do for you. Money could do a lot for you. If you're very good about it, money will bring you more than happiness, motherfucker. Guarantee you. and I will take that shit to the bank. But anyways, it all depends. It's case by case. If you fucking get all that money and blowing on fucking hookers and cocaine, then that's not good. That's not a good move. That's unfortunately not the happiness that lasts. Anyways, okay, so I have to ask you, bro. What's your longevity like really with clutches? Like what does Austin want to do let's just say 10 years from now? Like what kind of production are you really looking at? Like are you trying to be in the 200s, 300s? Like, or are you going to be more selective? Like what's your game plan?
So like in the past, like I probably wanted up to like 500 clutches in the past. When I was younger and I was a little more, I had bigger dreams back then, like I'll say.
Right.
But now I'm more realistic with it, and lately I've actually been trying to like center it. I'm thinking between like 100 to 150 would be where I almost want to cap out.
So about 100 more or so than what you're doing now.
Yeah, basically.
And you're doing this all on your own. There's no help. I mean, or do you have help in your own collection?
I have friends who come by and help. Like I have one of my friends who actually used to be into ball pythons before we were friends, and then we became friends, and then now he's getting back into it. It's like Jaffe Exotics, one of my boys, and then he comes by and helps me once a week, helps me with the feeding, helps me with cleaning sometimes. Just like good friend hanging out with me, helping me out.
And if you don't mind, like how did he get influenced into the game? Like was that on his own and you guys met, or did you like already knew him pre-snakes?
So we actually went to the same high school for a bit. Then I transferred schools, but he's 2 years older than me, and he was into ball pythons before I was. But then due to like something, he had to get out of it. And then my girlfriend and my girlfriend's sister is actually dating his best friend. So we became friends through that. And then he got back into the ball pythons, came over a few times, started hanging out. And now he got the bug. He's getting in deep. He just bought like a crazy male. He bought some crazy females. He's got some double recessive projects going.
Hell yeah.
He's getting into it good.
Hell yeah. Okay, bro. I will tell you right now, man, like there is a lot more important things in what we do in this besides money. And I can tell you one of those things is the love you spread. Like when you actually, because you remember that fucking itch. You remember the first itch? Like you're like you instantly visioned 5 years what you could do with snakes and all this shit. And you just couldn't sleep. You're watching videos, you're fucking research. And then like, you go so long like that and you kind of forget that like how you once were until you see the new, like the beginning version of you in somebody else. And you make that eye contact with them and they're just like, bro, did you see this? Oh my God. And you're just like so engaged. And like, honestly, bro, like that is so priceless to me, bro. Like I have and I feel like I'm getting more of those each year as my breeding season's happening. Like I have like, I'm having more local people hit me up. Like I'm just like, dude, and they're just so into it. Some of them having kids that are interested. Like my son wants to, start a project and blah, blah. And I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And it's just, dude, that right there, like gives me chills, like, because it's spreading. Like that's 100%. The kind of like, that's why I feel like the hobby is so beautiful what we have, because regardless who you support, really, at the end of the day, they're still putting something that is instilled in us to other people, and that's the love for the animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
Oh, 100%. Like last night, actually, not to spoil anything, but I think Lord of Lion already posted it. It was me, Lord of Lion, and Jaffe from Jaffe Exotics. We're all hanging out at Lord of Lion's place,
right?
And he was cutting a clutch, double het to double het, lavender clown, and he killed the odds and he hit a vanilla lavender clown. So
damn, and you were able to spot that in the egg?
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, yeah, like just that little that experience we shared together, because Jaffe's still like he just got back into it, and like him, like he actually called it out of the egg. I didn't think it was at first, and then we looked a little bit closer and it was, and it was just like, there it is. It's insane. Like holy cow! Like I'm so happy for him. Like it's just craziness. And, like just that little bond we shared right there, the little energy we gave. Like, it was amazing. Like.
All right, so pro tip, how can you see the vanilla from here? I'm just curious.
So the pairing was a vanilla times vanilla. So vanilla double het to a vanilla double het.
Oh, vanilla. So you're gonna have to get vanilla.
It's not gonna be 100%. The vanilla's gonna be in every baby, but more chances than not. And then just the pattern at the tail, it looked a lot like a vanilla clown. Vanilla clowns towards the tail are very striped, and then all the pattern drags together. And that's kind of why I didn't think it was a clown at first, but then after closer looks, it was a clown. It's insane.
Damn, Lord just earned his round 2 right now. I got you, Lord. We're gonna be booking your round 2 here pretty shortly, my man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
He's gonna be killing it in the ball python soon. Like, you guys don't
I
even
love this
know.
guy, bro. Like, I just need this happiness in my life. Look at this guy. I'm so jealous that this is your like one of your best friends. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea. Like, don't get me wrong. I love when my wife comes through and helps, but she really has a life other than snakes.
Yeah.
I don't have a homie like this, bro. Like, this right here is just, man, God is good to you guys, bro. I'm telling you right now. That's a homie right here.
Oh, yeah, he's an amazing guy. Like words can't express how good of a guy he is. Like,
good shit, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, he deserves everything he's gotten. So,
all right, bro. So look, I have a wrap-up question for you real quick. And I'm gonna let you go enjoy your weekend. I know you had a long night, so you know, I mean,
yeah.
we
Another party tonight too.
Another party tonight. Listen to this guy. But okay, I gotta ask you, okay, if there's people out there struggling, either not really with the projects, but like meaning how to move with their projects. Basically, they have a certain snake they want to make, and they make it, and they don't know what else to do with it, right? What's your advice as far as how to really expand projects, like how to really maximize potential within your own collection?
I think it's depending on how big your collection is. So like someone with a smaller collection, let's say 40 snakes, I would say go pick like 2 or 3 recessives, and then go and work those recessive into each other. It would be, if it was like clown, ultramel, and pied, go make ultramel clowns, ultramel pies, maybe go buy some. And once you hit those, make some combos and actually go and plug them together for the future to make triples. So you always have like a plan. You can always work everything together that you've made, upgrade your females, because a lot of people look at like just single recessives and they're trying to hit, like, let's say they want to hit just the Pompeii. They love the Pompeii. Pompeii is amazing, but there's so much more we could do on top of the Pompeii, adding ultramel, adding desert ghost, adding maybe even a different pattern changing morph. There's so much more, and it's going to take a long time to get there, and there's a lot of other possibilities to make in between the way. That's when like beautiful things happen, and you're able to make happy accidents, and you have all these really cool snakes that you didn't even want to make, but now you have these, and you can go take these into different directions that you want to go. The darker snakes taking the ultramel, the brighter ones you want to go taking desert ghost, and there's just so many different ways you can go. And
right.
It just always makes it endless, right? You can just maybe put the snake into the ultramel clown project, and over here you're like, oh, maybe I want to start making clown pies now, and just a whole bunch of other ways to do it. It's just staying to your single, like 3 or 4 recessives, depending on how big you are, and just working them all together. There's always room for more if that's what you want to do, but if you really want to get into the gist of it and those niches, go work these projects together, and it'll keep you working for a long time. You probably make some amazing animals doing it.
Oh, 100%. And I will say, man, I mean, dude, what you got going on, bro? It's you just keep that fire burning, dude, because you're literally killing it, and that's facts. I'm telling you, like you have not put off the gas since I've had you on the last podcast. So just keep doing your thing, bro, because you're making major moves, man.
I appreciate you having me here again, man.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll have many rounds with Austin, as far as like having him on and whatnot. I'm gonna bring the homie Lord back on. We'll do we'll have the whole team on here at some point. It's all big things, man. We all learn so much just from each and every single one of you. But I mean, more importantly, man, like just having you on one-on-one really makes other people realize how big of a player you are, and not only to just the community by itself, but to even mutation creation. Like it's a huge team thing what you guys have going on over there. You know what I mean? And this shows it right here. So respect to you. Now listen, real quick, you got a lot of big stuff that's about to drop in the next couple weeks. I know you're not going to say anything, but what's the way best people could be on top of your alerts? I mean, should they just follow you on Instagram? Or what do you suggest people to, like, you know, if you want to just shout out any plugs right now, basically here's your time to do it.
Follow me on YouTube at King Austin, Instagram or Highness Pythons. A lot of big things are happening there. I had a lot of help from some amazing people. And I just want to give a big thanks to Nasty Morphs. They're in it. They just got a crazy snake. They just bought a Mojave Monsoon too. Breeder male. Like insane. Oh Trevor, God. Thank you so much. Nate's amazing. He's a little guy. You guys might have seen him in the mutation creation video. Amazing little kid with a great passion. I can't wait to see where they are in the future. And I couldn't have done what I'm going to show you guys in the future without them. So just a huge thank you to them.
Oh, major, man. I'm excited for you, bro. Other than that, what do you have to say to all your supporters out there, man? Everyone who fucks with you, everyone who's tapped in this Saturday morning, afternoon, whatever. What do you have to say to all your
I
supporters?
really appreciate it. I love all you guys. I hope I can meet everyone. Like we're hopefully in the new year, we can go to the States for some shows, meet a lot of you guys, go hang out and do some cool stuff. It's not always behind a screen.
Yeah, eventually this will become not such a normal thing. You know what I mean? Like other than us doing a podcast, but like, you know, I'm doing anything I can to make it to any big shows, to link it with anybody. And like I said, I'm making my way to Canada, bro. So just be ready.
Nice, bro.
All right, man. Austin, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, bro. Have a wonderful rest of your day and be safe tonight. And dude, again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
All right, have a good day, bro.
Ciao.
Damn, Austin in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for spending your morning, afternoon, evening with me at the Trap. I appreciate you guys so much. Please don't forget to subscribe. Drop a like, drop a dislike, drop a comment. Other than YouTube, man, if you're listening to Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, don't forget to leave me a review. It would mean everything to me. And I appreciate anyone who listens and tunes in to Trap Talk with MJ. I will let you guys a secret right now. Next Thursday, it's going down, and it's going down in person. We got a remote Trap Talk with MJ with one of the heaviest, and I mean fucking heaviest arboreal breeders in the United States. He also breeds ball pythons, ultra male clown combo type shit, literally killing the fucking game on all boards, ladies and gentlemen. Marshall Mendez going down. I'm going to Alabama, motherfucker. I've never been to Alabama, but I'm about to go to Alabama, and I'm going to be fucking tapped in with this guy. You have no idea how excited I am to check out his fucking room. Oh, man, it's going down. And I suggest you guys be ready. Go down to the link below. Set that reminder because Red Mountain Herps, MJ, Trap Talk with MJ, going down in person next Thursday. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you again to Austin for tapping in and being a real one. And yeah, just being the guy he is to the entire hobby. Much love to every single one of you guys. Have a good day. I'm out.